Chasers Podcast. Coming to you live and direct with your host and your moderator, Kevin L. Warren. This is a real sports podcast for real fans.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast. Fourth and short NFL segment to be precise, the championship weekend edition, where we'll talk about both the championship games in the AFC and the NFC. Hey, before we do that, make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share the channel. Also, within the sound of my voice on the podcast side, make sure you give us that 5-star review. 555. Make sure you give us that 5-star review. Give us that comment. And the words of D-Dub, love us or hate us. We want to know how we're doing and how you feel about us. And that's mostly important. So, hey, with that said, let's meet the crew. We got the Angry One. Angry One, what's going on, my brother? How are you?
What's going on? Chilling, man. Chilling. Hope everybody's good. Fourth and short. It's going to be short and long at the same time. Pause.
Pause.
Yeah, no doubt. Mike Mills, what you got, bro? How are you, sir? How you feeling?
Good afternoon. Let's talk about these games. We can talk about how I'm feeling after we talk about the games. Let's get it started.
I thought the DA and Mills was about to throw hands, man, earlier, man. But the DA, he's with us.
Oh, not me. I'm good. Mike is mad. Man, throw his helmet. Curse.
Mike threw his helmet.
Yeah, Mike threw his helmet. Because Lamar threw his helmet.
That helmet ain't do nothing to that man. He want to throw that helmet, but
the $500 helmet too. Nice new helmet too.
$500 helmet, yes.
Yeah,
man. Very interesting games are going. We're about to go over those games right now, as you can see. And as you can see, I'm not in familiar settings. I'm still in the Orlando area. We're going to talk about Podfest and what some of the things went on Thursday, but we're going to focus on football. Championship Sunday. The Super Bowl's all set, where you got the Kansas City Chiefs. They're back in it again. Rematch of the 2020 Super Bowl against against San Francisco, where the Niners got in yesterday, defeating the Detroit Lions. Rematch of your main man, Pat Mahomes. He's back in it again. The Niners have their second-year quarterback, Brock Purdy, Mr. What's the name they call him? Mr. Not Unreliable, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Irrelevant. No, he was reliable yesterday, so definitely was, man. But hey, let's get into the games. D-Dub should be with us shortly. He said something was going on with his camera. I know it's 4:45 in the afternoon Eastern time. I know it said 6, but life goes on and life happens, and things were thrown my way, as y'all can see. So we got to kind of adjust on the fly. Shout out to all the guys that can make that adjustment with me, and we're flying high. So, hey, with that said, let's get into the first game that started at 3:00 at MIT Bank Stadium, Baltimore, Maryland, with the Ravens and the Chiefs. The Chiefs defeated the Ravens 17-10. Let's read this from the AP. Baltimore at the first quarter was vintage Patrick Mahomes picking apart the Baltimore defense with quick passes with Travis Kelce on the other end of several of them. Then the Kansas City defense, now elite after some shaky seasons in the past, took over. I think the AP been listening to the Sports Chasers because we've been saying that. Anyway, finally, when Mahomes needed one more completion to send the Chiefs back to the Super Bowl, he went deep to Marcus Valdes-Scantling, who struggles this season, were emblematic of the team's maligned receiving group. Yes, we absolutely destroyed them a couple of times on this show. Completed a 32-yard passing, and that was ball game. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. Kelce said emphatically, after all the moments this season when they look disjointed and vulnerable, the Chiefs are headed back to the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 5 years. Mahomes and Kelce were at their magnificent best. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. And that was from the AP. Congrats to the Chiefs. They're back in it. 4th time in 5 years. I'll start with Mike Mills, and I'll kick it back to myself for my thoughts. Since we're doing it, let's go by the numbers here. The numbers here. Mahomes was 30 of 39, 241 yards, 1 TD. Pacheco, 24 of 68 yards rushing with 1 TD.
That's it. That's in the game right there.
Yeah, that pretty much. And
you look on the other side of the,
and Lamar Jackson was 20 of 37. We'll say that on the show. It's way too much. And Jackson ran for 54 yards. Edwards and Flowers ran for a total of 24 yards together. And as the DA said, that was the problem.
Edwards had 3 attempts, man.
3 attempts.
No, your starting running back got 3 carries.
Well,
I don't care if you're going up against a steel goddamn curtain. You give that man the ball more than 3 times. If you want to win. Because Pacheco ran the ball 24 times and only got 68 yards, which meant one thing, that the running wasn't working, but 2, that Kansas City wasn't giving up on the running because it helped the play action.
Yes.
So I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I know you wanted to talk about that, and I wanted to talk about too. And we talked a little bit early before the show started about how coaching. That's coaching. I don't think they put their coaching staff put the team in a right position to win the game. I don't know what was they thinking. I don't know what they was trying to prove. I don't even know. I don't even want to start that narrative. But Mike Mills, because I was very disappointed too. I thought it would be better. Mike, go ahead.
Now, the only justification that I could give that play calling, which I agree was egregious and horrible.
Correct.
The only other thing they could say is maybe they wanted to prove Lamar could beat people from the pocket. Maybe that's what they wanted to prove.
So Mike,
so high. That's a game you do that in September when it don't matter. When you trying new stuff. Don't do that when we're supposed to be going to the Super Bowl. Listen. The Chiefs scored 17 points. There is no reason your quarterback should have to throw the ball 37 times for you to match or surpass 17 points. I don't care who your quarterback is. There's no reason you should have to throw the ball that many times, especially when you have the number 1 running game in football. And it's not like it's new to this. This is a team that has been the number 1 running football team for multiple years. It's not like we don't have this identity. It's not that we don't have the next man up running back by committee. They just decided to not run the ball. Shit, Zay Flowers had a touchdown run against the Chargers earlier this year. Anything. They could have did anything, but they didn't want to run the ball. And here we are. We're talking about why they failed again. They caught the Joe Flacco syndrome. This is the same shit they did with Flacco. You paid them all that money. You stop running this ball. Except with Flacco, there was a Super Bowl involved.
Mills, I think you guys have been the best rushing team since the second week of Lamar's second season in the league. That's
exactly
overall. Now, my other thing is, and I always say this to guys, that coaches believe that they can take shit and make sugar. Right, because they're always interviewing. So this guy you guys had as your OC, he thought that he was on to his. And this be dead serious. Like, we need to start looking at OCs this way, because he was looking at himself as the next HC somewhere. So if his offense, my offense, not the team's offense, my offense works, then I'm going to get this next big job. Because last year, these guys from Philadelphia got jobs, and this guy here is going to get a job. They're all looking for the next piece of money.
How did that work in Philadelphia?
Not good for Philly. That might have worked good for the other guys. But the reality is that you got some guys like Spags that says, listen, man, I'm good at this. I did the head coaching thing. Didn't work for me. I'm good. I can catch this check right here. And Steve Spagnuolo said, I'll just do this till I'm done. Because when I do this, I win. And you know what Spags might end football being? The most decorated fucking coordinator ever.
I said the same thing, D. He just goes from team to team, sound like New Edition, from city to city with his friends and his fans. And he don't break no hearts. He just goes and do his job. Now the head
That
coaching thing
Seahawks
ain't his
break.
thing,
Oh.
right? Yeah, the head coaching thing ain't his thing, but he's done it now with the Giants and twice. Look what he's done.
And this will be 3 times,
Right,
4 times with this team.
with this team. So, come on, son. Shout out to all those in the YouTube comments. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. E, your thoughts? Oh, D Dub's with us. D Dub's camera is not as act up a little bit, but he's on the screen so he can hear us. I'll get him on here in a little bit. E, what you got for us, man? We were saying some stuff too. Some people are talking conspiracy. Let me just get my thoughts up. Mike, I'm absolutely with you. Me, D Dub, and a very cool friend of mine who used to play high level college football. We was in the bar off of I Drive here in Orlando, and we was like, why is he passing the ball so much? 37 times, and you gotta rush him. You gotta do, like you said, you got a man. He's been doing it all year long. And like you said, y'all wait till January 28th to experiment. That it doesn't go ahead before I say something else. Go ahead.
Man, I'm I'm just in case if anybody thinks differently of what I'm about to say before I go in. I'm not a fan of Baltimore. I'm not a fan of Kansas City. I'm not a fan of Detroit. I'm not a fan of San Francisco. I'm an Arizona Cardinal fan for now, and I'm a fan of football. Okay, now that I got that out the way, all this shit going on in my background. What y'all doing? Oh, yo. So, with that being said, I absolutely hated this weekend. Why? I will tell you why. Because there's a certain identity that teams have, especially at this time of the year, whether it be they take over the identity of their coach or it's just the overall identity of the team. And there's 2 times where I've seen this shit fail and it's gone left. First, since we're talking about this game, we'll talk about the Baltimore Ravens. Mike already alluded to it. Everybody else has said it. I will go ahead and put another stamp on it. You are the number 1, number 2, or number 3. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but you are a running team. I do believe last week I brought it to everybody's attention that Baltimore rushed the ball for 42 fucking times. What happened this week? Chris Jones is making so much money that you were scared to run the ball against him? What? I listen. I absolutely hate.
I'm telling you, as a defender, pass defender, that dude ain't nice like that.
Oh, well, yeah, we know. That's why I said his contract and not his abilities. So
yeah, he might drop a bag of money on Gus Edwards and fucked him up with it.
Yeah, somebody dropped a bag somewhere, but we're not even going to discuss that right now. All I'm gonna say is
we ain't talking about the ref yet.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is this weekend has me hating sports all over again because of the conspiracy theories and the politics that I see placed in front of me. Why on earth would you work hard all year to get to this spot and you come out wearing, you might as well came out wearing the Baltimore high school team's jersey, because that's what you played like. Defense played well. Let give the defense credit because well, I will say this. The way Kansas City moved up and down the field, they should have had more points. So that I give Baltimore defense credit for that. However, Baltimore offense, where were you at? The play calling, where were you at? Coaching, where was you at? Lamar, you 3rd and 2, you dancing. You could have ran for that, got down. You dancing, trying to find some. It was a hard watch, man. It was a hard watch. But I will say this too. Well, it was close, DA. It was close. Hey, yo, so y'all would just say this. Love it. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. I've seen plays like that forced fumble right at the goal line. I think that was on Flowers, I believe. Yo, you have to have a high IQ to even think to go for the ball at that point. Because I've seen a lot of teams that whiff on tackles that don't even act like they want to touch the guy, and the guy went for the ball. That's a high IQ in these days. So again, Kansas City, congratulations. I can't stand y'all, but you're here for a reason. whether it's be your abilities or your abilities. I'll leave it at that.
The
Go ahead, DA,
Swifties.
take it away.
No. Let me give it to D Dub first before we get because let me get the D Dubs in. D Dubs, go ahead.
Yo, what's up, man? Hey, man, that was a horrible game. Shout outs to Mike Mill. I know he's suffering right now. That was, hey, we was calling it at the bar.
Oh, tell how you really feel, D. Wow.
Bro, he didn't run the ball at all. He had open alleys. I mean, I'm sitting there yelling at the screen. He had open alleys there, ample enough times and opportunities to take off and run. But he seems like, I don't know if y'all said this earlier, I might have missed it, but it seemed like he has embedded in his head that he wants to prove to everybody else that he's a throwing quarterback instead of taking what the defense gave him. And
We said
yesterday, okay, y'all did say that.
it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And
We love reiteration. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's an absolute disgrace. It was a disgrace, and I'm done. I'm done defending homie, because homie has to understand that you got to, take what the defense is giving you. I don't know what you got to prove. You're a 2-time MVP. You probably gonna get the MVP. You don't have nothing to prove. Just go out there and play. And it's ridiculous. I think I do agree with Mike. We was going back and forth. He said, I believe that with that roughing, it was a penalty.
Roughing the passer,
Cool.
or was it the I can't
No.
remember.
The taunt was crazy.
The taunt,
the
crazy.
He
with,
spent the
with
spent
Shake.
the
He
ball
spent the
around
ball.
from,
Yeah, but dude was holding on to him and wasn't letting him up. They should let that one slide. Now, Clowney,
bro, we in Baltimore in the playoffs. If we was at Arrowhead, then call it the other way. I'm the home team.
Kelsey, I've seen worse.
Shit on game, they ain't calling nothing.
Apologies, Michael. But before the game started, they said the ref that got assigned to your games is the ref that called the worst against home teams. Wherever he's at.
Yeah. That was 100%. I seen that early in the week, and I said, and lo and behold, what was happening? Exactly what happened.
They missed two obvious pass interferences.
Yep.
That is a whole
fact. The interception one, that's 50-50. Okay, they got the interception. Maybe you don't want to call it, whatever. Okay, I give you that because that was a bad throw. You missed one on Odell up the sideline, and then you missed one with Likely in the middle of the field. Come on now.
Yeah, that Likely one was ridiculous.
Now, Michael, if I may, guys, Kevin and I talked about this. The NFL needs to make it a college call, or maybe it's me and my son. It needs to be 15 yards.
I agree.
Right? The reason why is because
totally agree.
In the NFL, quarterbacks weaponize the
pass interference.
Pass interference call. Like, when things are going bad. Shoot, I got no receivers that are has a little cachet in the league. Y'all just throw it down there against unknown number 3 cornerback. It's gonna be pass interference. We'll have the ball at the 3. I watched this thing happen damn near my whole life. To where it's weaponized. It's a weaponized call, and you not changing it goes a long way to me continuing to think that this shit is fixed. I'll say it that way, right? Because if it wasn't fixed, you'd just change it to where the college games has it where it's fair. 15 yards, dog. 15 yards.
But see, this is where the NFL should listen to folks like us, to podcasts like us, because you don't want your sport to be in the tinfoil hat category.
They're going to NCAA
it. It's too late, but go ahead.
NCAA it. Fuck up. They're going to NCAA it.
It's too late, but go ahead, Kev.
But this is what the bad calls and bad refereeing has made it. Me and D-Dub was talking over the weekend at Podfest about we was talking with somebody how they were saying how the WWE and the NFL are kind of
sports and entertainment.
Sports and entertainment.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead, D-Dub.
The NBA is actually an entertainment company. It's not a sports company. So you can look that up. That's Legal Beagle up front. They're an entertainment company. So if they do WWE basketball games, you can't be mad because they're an entertainment company. The same way Vince McMahon had an entertainment company, and those good old boys in the South used to have the NWA. you know, with the original, when my man Ric Flair with the youngster, that was an entertainment company. And the NBA is an entertainment. I don't know if the NFL is an entertainment company. I didn't think it was, but the way they're doing it now, boy, oh boy, it's not looking good because the refs are. Man, look, I can't do it with the refs, right? Because I can go back this whole season on games and let you know how this whole thing played out monetarily, so how it works. Like Dallas is in it because Detroit had three linemen actually tell the ref that this lineman was eligible for a pass, but they didn't take it. So Dallas wins and Dallas is in the playoffs. Why is Dallas in the playoffs? Because they keep a lot of eyes on the TV, a lot of commercials, a lot of advertising money. It is what it is. Skip. Yes. Yes, sir. So, come on, man. We can put the 2 and 2 still equals 4. So, and I do feel one bad thing about Lamar Jackson. I think he got hung out there by his coordinator, not giving him enough runs, not running the ball enough. Because 3 is a travesty. But I also think, and I'm gonna say this up front, and people get mad at me, but as a black quarterback, you get pushed into like this spin cycle. And I'll call it that, right? Because you'll get told not to run the ball so much because that makes you not a good quarterback. They told Cam not to run. Told Mike Vick not to run. You're going to get hurt. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. Well, you know what, man? Excuse my French, mama. This is pro fucking football. Well, you're all going to get hurt. That's what you signed up for. That's what the money's there for. So the reality is, listen, if Lamar only has a 10-year career from getting hurt, he'll still be richer than me because Cam Newton is. Right? So you got RG3 is. He had but a year, 2 or 3. So what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter, folks. They're going to get hurt anyway. So when we put this pressure on Lamar to not run, right? Then he throws on the racial component of him being a black quarterback, and that's all we can do. So he doesn't run when opportunities are there. Whereas dudes that are, and I'll say this in the carriage one way, free like a bird to fly about on stage, because don't nobody say nothing. Josh Allen, Purdy, just the last game. It don't matter if they run. No one says don't run.
That's a very interesting fact that you're right, man, because you don't
no
hear
one
it.
tells them to not run.
Yeah.
They told Michael Vick to stop running. And the dog thing got him, right? But let's just play it out, I guess. And I don't do hypothetical, but they told him to stop running. They told Donovan McNabb to stop running because he was a great runner when he first started. They told Randall Cunningham, stop running.
That's a fact.
Dante Culpepper, stop running. Steve McNair, stop running.
Be a pocket quarterback. You got to be in a pocket.
But no one told Steve Young to stop running. And I'm an Niners fan.
I was about to interject that little caveat into that. And, whether you want to believe it or not, I agree with it. It's true. It's definitely true. It's definitely true. Let me just real quick before we move to the Niners game. Let me read the resume for Todd Monken, who's the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. So he got it, the Georgia's offense from 2020 to 2022, back-to-back championships. The Bulldogs offense was number 5 national ranking and number 8 in scrimmage yards.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Sorry, don't. The college football game is totally different.
I'm just reading his resume.
I'm just saying you can recruit what you want in college, and you can have the best players by far and win. Point blank, period. And that doesn't mean he's a great coordinator. It means that he had the best kids on his team playing.
All right. Thank you, DA, for that disclaimer. All right. So now I'll just read real quick the NFL resume that he got. He directed the Browns offense in 2019 that featured Nick Chubb, who produced the league's second most rushing yards. And tallied 8 TDs. Why the fuck didn't he
run the ball?
2016 to 2018, Monken led the Buccaneers offense that ranked 3rd in first downs per game, 22.5, second in passing yards per game, 27.9.5, and first and third down conversions percentage rates, 44.4%. That is around the time that Jameis was there, I believe. Am I right? And Mike Evans has just started. So
yes, sir.
I don't know what happened yesterday. He has some questions to be Mike. If you know, we like to do this thing with Mike Mills is the general manager. Mike, if you was the general manager today and you was at MIT Stadium, what are you doing? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? And then we'll move on to the next
locking the
game.
door with the head coach and all three of my coordinators and saying we're not reliving the Flacco years. We're not doing this shit no more. We did it last time, and I sat there and I let it happen. We're not doing this again. We got an identity that we're sticking to, and we're going to run the ball, and we're going to win games. Yes, throw the ball when necessary. Y'all did a great job this year keeping Lamar clean. He scrambled, but he didn't scramble as much this year. And he was still in the pocket. He had a career high passing yard. Fine. Yeah. But you ran the ball still. Yesterday, he didn't run the ball. There was moments where you got a guy underneath. He didn't throw it to him. You want to run around and dance around. Then there was moments where you got a whole open field because it's man on man, and there's nobody to watch you, and you don't want to run. So I don't think anything about this team needs to get blown up, really, because I feel like, well, they're not going to be able to afford everybody on the defense because they got a lot of guys who overachieved on veteran minimum contracts. So
Good point.
You just got to pick up the pieces where you can. I mean, you're going to save money on Odell because I don't think he's coming back. Because I wouldn't want him back at that price tag. If I can get him at like $4 or $5 million, then yeah, I'm not taking him for 15 again. That's dead.
I think less than that if you can.
Stick to your identity, please. Stick to your identity.
I didn't see Odell to the fourth quarter, to be honest. But who am I?
And then he made me mad. It was 3 yards, bro. It was 3 yards. It was 3 yards, bro.
I thought it was me, Mills. I thought it was me, dog. I said, man, what is all that carrying on? As the old folks would say, what is all that carrying on?
Get that taunting, you next. Doing you next.
I had to like bust a rhyme. Like the Dungeons and Dragons. Come on, dog, stop it.
You know the NBA ref. Hey. Go ahead now.
That'd have been a tech.
Yes, sir.
The refs want to be the stars so bad.
Yeah, that's true. Let's move on to the NFC game, where the Detroit Lions face the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners win 34-31. The Niners move on to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 2020 year, where DA's main man was at quarterback. I don't know. I better not say his name.
No, Jimmy G this time. Yes, sir.
Matty G. Go.
No, Jimmy Garoppolo this year to close his eyes and throw the pass over the middle of the field with his eyes closed today.
Oh man, that is funny, man. From the AP, Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers were on the brink needed to spark a big deficit and avoid a third straight loss in the conference title game. Brandon Ayuk delivered with an improbable catch that helped save the Niners' season. Purdy's 51-yard pass that deflected off a defender's face mask into Ayuk's hands helped the Niners rally from a 17 points down at the half to beat the Detroit Lions 34-31 on Sunday and reach the Super Bowl. The Niners scored 17 points in an 8-minute span of the third quarter in the NFC Championship game and then pulled away in the fourth quarter to earn a rematch against Kansas City after losing to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 4 years ago. No one was rah-rah, Purdy said at halftime. No one was freaking out. It's football. There's a lot of experienced guys on this team, veteran guys who have been in a crazy situations. We were just like, we had to do our job. The Niners mounted the fourth comeback ever down or more in a conference title game, thanks to some big plays by Purdy and bad mistakes from the Lions, including 2 failed fourth downs and field goal range. Detroit fell short of reaching the first Super Bowl in franchise history. I'm going to pass this to the DA. The DA, his team is in the Super Bowl again. How do you feel? What's your thoughts? Let's go. What you got?
In the words of Dan Kay, our hockey guy, a lot of players on Detroit pissed down their own legs, as he would say. That's it, right? There were passes.
That's what Dan would say. Yes.
Yeah. Passes that they had to catch, they didn't catch. tackles they had to make, they didn't make, and fumbles they should have kept that they shouldn't fumble. Now, they are and were a better team than us yesterday. And if we played them tomorrow, they'd probably be a better team than us tomorrow because we can't stop the run at all. I don't know why. We just can't. We just don't. It's not that we're not big enough, pause. Have the middle of our defense is not strong because they are, guys that at a point in time were strong. But I think what we're doing now is we don't have our ends, and that might be the coordinator too, because that coaching matters. Our ends have to look for the run while they're on their way to the quarterback. Now there are times where you'll see that they do that, but a lot of times Chase Young he'll run past the running back looking for a quarterback. So you have to be able to do both. Our secondary is not that good, so that's where you can get us at all the time. But listen, I'll take the game. We had some good plays. That was the catch number 4 for the 49ers. We'll call that the catch number 4. This one because we got the Owens one, the one 2 before that. So this is number 4. So we'll take it. We are going to run. I'm gonna tell you now, and this is the difference between us and I guess Baltimore. I think because I'm not there yet, but we're going to run the ball if they stop us 15 times. We will continue to run the ball. Why? Because we have to do it to get that pressure off of Brock Purdy. Like he's not good enough for us to do it. So if their defense is the best defense in the world at Kansas City at stopping the run, they're gonna have to motherfucking prove it against us. They're gonna have to prove that, and you're gonna have to be that on that day, because we are gonna put our line on you, and we're gonna go forward and try to do the best we can. If we can get 2-3 yards of carry with Christian McCaffrey, we'll know we'll break one at some point in time. And we'll get our little dink and dunks because Purdy is not Tom Brady. And you see what happens when he throws the ball long. It hits the other team in the face mask. Right? So that's not what you want to have happen.
No. You got very fortunate on that. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah, very much so. So we'll take it. We will take it. Because the win's a win. But it'll be a lot of Kittles, a lot of McCaffrey, a lot of Debo, less Ayuk. Because if we can catch them and catch you slipping, because their secondary isn't as good as well. But they do have a dog. They do have one dog, all pro on their secondary. So, in Kansas City. So we're going to have to do that. But I think we can. We just have to stop the run. Pacheco, we have to stop him.
Yeah.
We got. That's it.
Well, we'll break down next Monday on the.
I know. I'm sorry, man, but I just want to
break it down.
I just want to say thank you. And listen, we took the one, and I think we did okay. We did okay, and that's the best I could say is we did okay.
D-Dub, can you hear us? D-Dub, your thoughts on the game? Niners, Lions, giving up that 17-point lead. Is D-Dub with us?
Oh yeah. Good game all the way around last night. I'm not mad at Detroit at all. They did it. He did, as far as the coach, he did what he did all year long. So I can't be mad at a guy like that. I heard a lot of comments this morning.
Oh, they was mad.
And I actually cut it off because I wasn't really paying them no mind because I'm not going to give him the smoke when the guy's been who he's been all year long. So how can you get mad at somebody who's been who they've been all year long? Now you might disagree with them, but I'm not mad at him at all. He got the team there. They did a phenomenal job this year, so it should be a shout out to them. But they did have a 17-point lead. 17-point lead, and they was really, confident in that first half. Second half, not so much. Dropping balls, things of that nature. So kind of let the 49ers get back in the game. And, kudos to the 49ers, and they took care of business and won the game. So, not much I can say about, I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. Hopefully, 49ers could get redemption, get some revenge back, I should say, after Jimmy Garoppolo era.
Wait,
so.
Let me ask you something. When me and you was at the bar, were you were you thinking like that at halftime, right before the halftime, when they kicked the ball? Now, some people are playing devil's advocate. Oh, all year he's been going for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he should at least went for it. You've been doing it all year. Just go for it and just really put more pressure on it. I wouldn't say it knock him out, but that's been kind of
Or
your MO.
when they
Yeah,
went for it at to make it what was it,
yeah,
24
they kicked the field goal.
instead of being
Yeah,
20, instead of going for a touchdown, they went for a field goal. They kicked the field goal before half.
correct.
Uh
Yes. Because
yeah,
that's
I
been his
mean
thing all year.
that's
That's what
been
I
his
thought he was
thing.
going to do. I was a little disappointed, but he
That's
played
been
it
his
safe.
thing. He
Yeah,
played it safe. He said, you know what, 17. I would have, yeah. Most people was, some people was like, yeah, go for the juggler, smoke the Niners, make it really tough on them. You go up 28 to what was it, 28-7 at the. If you go 28-7, you might be looking. We looking at a totally different game.
But the 24 was enough. I mean, give me a break.
24 was enough, but
yeah.
you 28-7. Niners definitely putting some doubt, and you're like,
Kind of,
yo,
kind of like how Green Bay did to Dallas when they did their
right,
blitzkrieg against Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Niner Game for chiming in tonight.
yeah,
Appreciate you.
yeah.
Thank you.
I'm with them. He said always take the points. I'm good. Yeah, I'm in certain situations he's correct. I think in other situations this guy he's been he's been gambling all year. He's been doing it. He's been pushing the chips in all the time. So
Oh,
again,
but this is the championship game. He cannot be doing this.
come on, man. What? So what? Okay, cool. I mean, championship game. Yeah,
It's
man.
called adapting to the circumstance.
Yeah.
Oh, but they've been crying. Well, I have. Thank God. Right. Thank God I haven't. I've been at a conference and I haven't had an opportunity to hear the crying. But I'm pretty sure they've been crying all day that he should have been. He should have played it safe. And my thing is, people are what? Creatures of habit. This is like you said, D-Dub. This is what DA said. People are creatures of habit. This is what he's been doing. Dan Campbell has been doing all year. He
As
has
a
been
player.
Go ahead.
As a player, like he's just this dude. He's going to go and take chances, but he is not an idiot, right?
Right.
So
Right, and I think that's the
say, like you say, you can adapt. Like Kevin, a million times you may run into a situation, but one time you run into it a little bit different. Why? Because there's something that you feel off about it. Something let me try this. This is going to work.
100%.
People do. You can't. Man, listen, you can't prescribe what these dudes are going to do.
No, so the second guess is going to come, and this is what they do. It's par for the course, but I don't think Dan Campbell or the Detroit Lions have anything to be ashamed of at all.
Yeah, they do.
Go
ahead, Mike.
Listen, in 2 4th downs, you kick 2 field goals. Even if the Niners come back and score, you only down 1. So now you just need a field goal to end the game. Clock expires. Boom. Right? Because you shouldn't have let them in that. You shouldn't have let them back in anyway. But say like it was destined to happen. You got to prevent a complete collapse, right? And then Josh Reynolds needs to get his hands chopped off.
Whoa.
Thrown off the team. Because he had 2 easy catches that would have changed the game.
Sharia shit you up.
Listen, man. Listen, it's the playoffs. It's the conference championship. This is the last game for the big stage. We don't have time for all that other bull. We done made it here.
But you can't cut.
Lions was doing right in the first half. It was running the ball. It was keeping them honest. You know what I'm saying? They jumped out to that big lead. Running little trick plays. Jameis running 40 yards.
You know your cousin is cut, right? You can't really talk about cutting off people's hands. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey, man. Listen. I feel what you're saying. But they was up 17, man. 17 points. In most cases, is enough to put teams away. I mean, you look at the first game. Kansas City only scored 17 points, and they didn't score nothing else second half. You know what I'm saying? So 17 points is enough. Is enough points. Lions should have been able to handle business, and don't worry about it. But it is what it is.
Let me get E here real quick. E, before I give the stats. Go ahead, E.
Yo, man, I'm gonna just say this, man. When Detroit had that first turnover, I knew this shit was over. I agree with Kev. I was disappointed when the man went for 3 instead of 7. It is what it is.
Yes.
My thinking was, okay, we're going to adapt now. We're in the playoffs. We're going to play it safe. We're going to get these points, and we're going to escape with this win. And when I seen that he flipped back to his old self, kind of confused me. I'm a football fan. It irked me. It is what it is. Not my team. Don't care. Yo, man, 17 points, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody out there listening and watching, is not fucking enough in any sport anymore. This is 2024. You got to keep
even in hockey.
Even in, yo, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Dan K will chime in.
Baseball too. Baseball.
Yo, man, I'm just saying we've
They
seen
put 20 rocks in baseball.
Yeah, I've seen.
Oh, but you're running up the score.
10. Hey, man. Hey, you run up the score 9 times out of 10, 10 times on a 10 on a good Sunday, you come away with the win. So
right.
It is what it is, man. Shout out to San Fran, because even when Detroit fumbled and stumbled and all this other stuff, man, they still had to make plays on their end to get the job done. So shout out to them. And I agree with D-Dub. Detroit had a phenomenal year, just like Baltimore. You had a phenomenal year or whatever. But you just gotta, you can't play things. You can't. You overthink sometimes, and you think, oh well, we'll be back next year. Guys that have played, especially guys like Dan Campbell, you should know. You, sir, should know that just because you had a great year this year, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen again next year.
Right.
So, you may have the pieces in place to do it again, but doesn't always happen. But man, shout out to San Fran. They were I picked San Fran, but that game was crazy to see. It was entertaining. Detroit, they need to get some stick 'em on them gloves or something like that. I don't know, man. I would have kept running the ball myself. Gibbs should have got a little bit more touches. I'm being petty right now, but I still feel like Gibbs
he had 12 touches for 45, and Montgomery was 15 of 93.
Yeah, Montgomery was running like a beast yesterday. So, again, man, shout out to both teams. It is what it is, man. See what we got next week. Well, 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, 2 weeks. Super Bowl has went back to the 2-week format. They've been doing that for a minute. So we'll break down next week's the line.
And shout out to Brock Purdy for giving us our best Lamar Jackson impersonation outside of Lamar Jackson, because he was Brock Purdy.
Hey, you can't forget McCaffrey, right? McCaffrey, 20 of 22 TDs, 90 yards.
But just like DA said, San Fran, I don't see too many scenarios where San Fran is going to go into a game and forget who they are, unless they just don't have the personnel to do it. So we'll discuss in weeks to come, but they did what they were supposed to do and beat themselves.
What they were supposed to do and not beat themselves.
Hey, Kev, before I get
go ahead, dog. Yeah,
go ahead. Get out of here. The funniest meme I seen today was Lamar Prescott. Yo, that was hilarious.
That's gonna be the new one. We got Jared Stafford, and we got Lamar.
Kudos for Mike for starting that, and then I seen
Lamar Prescott. Mike Mills started that. Yes,
started that. The same guy. The same guy.
Lamar Prescott. What you say, Mike?
Prescott was funny.
I said they different. He Lamar something. It ain't Prescott.
Let me get out of here.
Get to the get to the playoffs, forget who you are. Lamar McNabb.
I can see
Lamar MB, because all you do is win MVPs and don't do nothing in the playoffs.
Lamar MB.
Word.
What a bunch of jerk offs, man.
Pause.
Oh man. Jackasses, jerk offs, whatever you are, whatever the vernacular is. What do I want to say? Hey, great show. We're just talking about football tonight. Get back with us on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, where we will chime in. We'll be talking about other things in sports besides football. We got basketball. Dan will be back with hockey, and we'll talk a little bit more about the upcoming Super Bowl. But we also will have 4 for Short next Monday at our regular time, where we will dive into the point spread and the matchups and all this stuff, and we'll go from there. On Thursday, we'll also talk me, D-Dub, and our super producer. We went to Orlando to Podfest 2024. So we'll talk a little bit about what we did. You know, those watching us on social media, you've seen some pictures, man. And D-Dub can attest. We're gonna have a standalone episode of an impromptu interview. It was crazy. D-Dub, right? Won't give it away. You'll be able to subscribe to it here in a little bit once we get it up on the
Yeah, no
YouTube
doubt.
channel.
I don't even know if
And
it's so much of an interview. It's just more of a just let him rock out, and he, it was something else.
we'll tell you more. It was absolutely insane, and that's all I gotta say. On behalf of myself, I'm Kevin L. Warren, your host and moderator, for James, the Angry One, Warren, for Mike Mills, for Dorian, the DA Albritton, for Daryl D. Dubs, Warren, also for Dan, the hockey dude, in his absence, and for my super producer, our super producer, JR Jr. Hey, this is the Sports Chasers podcast, man. Y'all be good, be blessed. Remember, share this with someone, and we'll see you on Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Be good, be blessed. Peace.